We back in here. We back in here. Welcome back to the channel. PBK9's Dog TV and News for the day, for the morning, for the evening, whenever you watching this. Big shout out and big salute to all the K9 lovers across the world. Like I always say, it's your boy coming to give it to you raw and uncut, raw and uncut, fair and unbiased. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Man, y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all hit that like button before y'all get up out of here. Hit that like button up right now. Don't forget to drop down in them comments as well. Got some dog news, some dog talk for you today. Let's go ahead and jump into that thing. I was checking a brother's or just checking posts out on Facebook, and I ran across one brother post that drew my attention. So I had to speak on it a little bit. And I'm not gonna say who said it because that's not important. We're just gonna speak on what he was talking about, and I'm gonna give my opinion on it. The brother said, "What's the difference between a breeder and a dog man?" And I was checking some of the comments out, and one of them that really caught my attention, and I really felt like I wanted to speak on it was the brother said, difference between a dog man and a breeder. And this is just one of the comments and part of the comment that he made. It's not the whole comment, but he said was a dog man will put his life and family in jeopardy, or family in jeopardy for his dogs. And just that little statement alone right there, I want to speak on. And I want to give you two sides of this story. I want to give you two sides of the story, or 2 points of views to the story. All right, the first point of view, the brother said a dog man will put his life, his family in jeopardy when it comes to his dogs. You know, and this is what I want to say about that. I'm gonna give you the first point of view, which is I always tell my young brothers, when you're getting in this dog game, you know, everything that I tell you that I may have been through, it don't always got something to do with getting in trouble or something like that. You know, we just talking about in general, with life in general. And when it comes to these dogs, same thing I'm about to say. There's a lot of brothers out there that can say the same exact thing because they've been through it already. And this point of view that I'm giving you, this is from a youngster coming up in the dog game. You're going to meet a lot of women who ain't going to understand your dogs, who ain't going to like you because you be around the dog so much, who may not be as attracted to you because every time she see you, you got a dog with you. You're going to come across ladies like that when you coming up, throughout your life. Now, I will say, in that point of view, you don't let a woman determine what you like and what you trying to do. She gonna have to accept you for who you are or don't accept you at all. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be to the point where she might accept you at the beginning, but she didn't know it was gonna be all like that. And you know how it go when you get in arguments with your old lady when you're young like that. Even my older brothers, first thing they yell out is about your dogs. Your dogs is the first the problem when it comes to any problem in a relationship. When you're a dog man, oh, you could be doing this if you wasn't out there with them dogs every day, or you could be doing that if you wasn't following up behind them dogs, up in them dogs' ass all the time. So you gonna go through that as a youngster. Now, the thing is, like I said, you don't let, because you want to be with that hot girl and you love your dogs, in my opinion, you don't let that make you dogless. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can get her, but don't get rid of your dogs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. Because a lot of girls, oh, get rid of this, get rid. I know a lot of brothers who got rid of their whole yard and they lost their lady within a week or 2, 3 weeks, a month later, 3 months later, 6 months later. It don't matter. She made it seem like the dogs was a problem, but the dogs wasn't a problem. You had other problems in the situation, and it's just the fact that she knew that you like the dogs, and sometimes girls will try to hit you where they know something you like. So if she know you love the dog, she'll try to hit you with that. You know what I'm saying? So from that point of view, I'm saying, never let nobody uh deter which way you're gonna go with your life and the things that you're gonna do and things that make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Because a happy life is the best way to live. However you got to do it. You just want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? It make no difference. Happy and not breaking no laws and not hurting nobody. And what could somebody say about that? You know? So that's the first point of view. I'm giving it to you from a young brother standpoint, and you're gonna come through obstacles, that's gonna try to get you to get rid of your dog throughout your young life. Not necessarily a woman, just family issues. You know what I'm saying? But you got, make your sit down and think sometime. Don't be so quick to get rid of your dogs because of an argument. Because then, like I said, you done got rid of the dogs and you still arguing. You know, so on that point of view, I'm looking that way. But when I come to the second point of view, my young brothers, I'm gonna tell you like this, and these young brothers, old brothers, anybody, you know, don't lose your family about no dogs, man. It's no dogs important enough to lose your family about. And brother, my brother, for you to say, and I'm not disrespecting you. I, I'm just giving you my opinion, so maybe you can see it the way I see it, or see it the way another brother see it, or keep seeing it the way you was seeing it. Not saying you was seeing it wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion. No dog is worth you putting your family in jeopardy about. Because at the end of the day, my brother, when you in jail for putting your family in jeopardy, who gonna be there for you? Them dogs not gonna be there for you, homegirl. Them dogs not gonna be there. They can't pick up them phones. They can't see no money. They can't do none of that stuff. They're not gonna putting your family in jeopardy don't necessarily mean putting your family in jeopardy for jail. You could be putting your family in jeopardy for something a little more serious. So it's nothing that's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? No thrill from the dog game, no matching, no getting no grand champions, making your dog to a champion, having a dog that done won 10 times. I don't care if he 11-time winner. It ain't worth putting your family in jeopardy. And that's the whole thing I be saying about y'all brothers in the modern day dog game. Brothers back then didn't have to put their whole family in jeopardy. You put your family in jeopardy now because you're going out here with 60 folk. You doing mob activities with 60 and 70 folk, men and women, people you don't know and never seen before. So yes, you putting your family in jeopardy. And how can you take care of your family if you locked up for dog fighting? There's nothing cool about putting your family in jeopardy. You need to think about that when you say that. If I got to do something where I can put my family in jeopardy, why am I doing it? You know what I'm saying? Why am I doing it? Dog, now I can understand, and I'm being real with you, straight up real with you. I don't know no other way to be. I can understand brothers saying, I gotta get it out the streets. I gotta get it out the mud. I gotta get it how I live. I gotta pay these bills, whatever. We know how the streets go. You putting your family in jeopardy then, because they can be losing you to the jail. They can be losing you to the graveyard. You can be putting them at risk for JackAs and all other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but we know that how the system is, and we know that brothers have to make money. So we're not gonna include that. But we talking about dogs. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put your family in jeopardy about these dogs, and you can still enjoy yourself. You can still do what you gotta do, or do what you're trying to do, make your money, and live peacefully without putting your family in jeopardy. That's why I'm telling you, you're watching the wrong dog channels, man. You better watch the right dog channels if you're thinking like that, fam. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put you on some good shit, you know what I'm saying, to get you thinking where you dealing with your dogs. You got your dogs and nobody in jeopardy, nobody at risk. You know what I'm saying? You're having fun doing what you're supposed to be doing with your dogs, and nobody at risk. Once I read that, I really stopped. I read a little bit more, but I really stopped reading, and I really didn't even get into the comments. You know what I'm saying? Because, you got to sit back and think, my brother. What part of the dog game, and I'm telling you this because I done been through it. I done been at the top, and I feel like you can't be stopped. What part of the dog game is worth risking your family for? You don't see this when you're young, but Thank the Lord you got a brother or a sister that done made it through all that stuff that can help you, because everybody ain't lucky to make it to where these brothers out here on these channels giving you these stories made it to their level. Everybody not lucky to make it. Some people pass away. Some people be in the prison, be doing life in prison, trying to get you a grand champion before you even got you a champion. You know, so being blessed and having friends that made it through that stuff and can get his story, sometimes you have to listen, man. You know, like I said, I gave it to you from two sides. One side, youngster coming up, you ain't seen nothing yet. Don't let nobody really get into your dog, stop you from loving your dogs and liking your dogs and pursuing your dog dreams and whatever you're trying to do with your dogs, you know. But on the other hand, none of that stuff is worth your family. You know what I'm saying? But when you're young, you don't realize that you wilding in the streets, you doing this, you doing that. You don't see none of that type of stuff, you know? But it ain't worth your family. Look at your daughter. Look at your son. You telling me having a grand champion, having a champion, your dogs out there, I don't care what dogs it is. Big John, Yellow, Mayday, they're not worth your family. And the owners will tell you that. Victor tell you Mayday is not worth his family. Now, you may got family members you don't like, and you say you give up a curve for them, you know, but that's, you know, joking wise, but at the end of the day, we being serious. Dogs are not worth you losing your family for, big homie. You know, for you to say that, losing your family is losing your family. It don't make no difference how you lost it, because you lost it, you know? So you telling me you going out and making your dog to a double grand champion is worth somebody coming and putting that heat to your daughter's head and blowing it off in the living room? A loss is a loss. It don't matter if you lost it this way or lost it that way. A loss is a loss. So you telling me making your dog to the best dog in the United States on the matching tip, on the scratching tip, you know, you telling me that's worth you losing your wife? That's worth you losing your backbone? That's worth you losing your son? You know, whether he a young son or old son, none of them dogs are worth you losing your fucking family about, you know? And I might lose my monetization because of what I'm saying, but I gotta give it to you. You know what I'm saying? It's two ways to look at it, you know, because I love my dogs and I done seen girls that they don't necessarily treat me funny, you know, but I know hanging out with you all day, I can't mess with deal with my dog certain kind of ways. You know what I'm saying? And every dog man in the damn world that got a woman know this and know this ain't no lie. Soon as they get mad at you, the first thing they do is come at you about your dogs. You know what I'm saying? Salute all my women out there, man, because it's a struggle dealing with us brothers out here. You know, I know it's a struggle dealing with us brothers that rock with them dogs, but I'm just trying to shoot a little bit of game to some of my young brothers and to my partner that I read his comments on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff worth it, big homie. You know, none of it. You once you lock down, you know, just say if it's lockdown, that's the easiest part of your life being in jeopardy. Being locked down. Say now you locked down, what your dog's gonna do for you? Somebody gonna come steal them? Let's just be real about it. As soon as they find out you gone and you not coming right back, your dog's gone. Oh, who there with him? His old lady? We coming to get him. We got him. Don't worry about that. You know? So, I mean, what part of the game, you know, it's like the risk is not worth the reward. You know? It's not, my brothers. This dog game, you got so many uh different personalities, different kind of people, different walks of life that's in this dog game, man. And just the point of for brothers to feel like, man, you're not the only brother that feel like that, my folk. You know, you're not the only brother that feel like that. It's probably a lot of people that feel like that. You know what I'm saying? With so many people in this world. But for anybody to think them dogs, we all love our dogs. We gonna do, and I know if you slap my dog in front of me, you gonna have to slap me. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But I'm gonna straight up tell you, it ain't nothing I could do with them dogs that's worth risking my family. Once I got the knowledge of that. Maybe when I'm young, you thinking, oh, you thinking this, you thinking that. But it ain't worth it, homie. You know? So let me ask you this, big dog. Is anybody in your family worth getting locked up because them folk think you fighting dogs? Just say, for instance, you out of town on vacation. And wherever you got your dogs at your house, wherever you got your dogs at, they don't get you, but they get your old lady. She don't got nothing to do with what you got going on. But you telling me having a grand champion is worth that? You know? Them folk gonna lock up whoever at the house with them dogs when they come. So you telling me that's worth losing what you got at home? It's worth them dogs. If that's the case, you already know that. You might as well get out that situation that you already in. If you know you feel like your dogs that you got in your yard is worth putting all your family in jeopardy, you might as well get rid of the family you got and get you something that's worth going out for. See, your family ain't worth going out for if you were willing to put them in jeopardy about a dog. You know, you the type of brother that a dude to come up to and holler at your girl, take your old lady in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Play you in your face, flirt with your old lady right there in front of you. You know, might slap her on the butt right there in front of you. You the type of person like that because you ain't gonna go out for your folk. To you, them dogs more important. You know? And like I said, I'm not trying to talk down on you. I'm just trying to give you a different point of view. You know, when it comes to your loved ones, man, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you gotta have enough sense, enough common sense to understand and know it ain't no dog, worth your family. Now, what I will say while I'm saying that, a dog is worth calling him or her family, calling him or her your family, because you got dogs who save the families. You got dogs who save people, save women, save men, through fires, through checking their sugar and stuff like that, telling them before they have seizures, all different kind of things. Blood pressure, all different kind of things. So dogs are worthy of being called family, but a dog is not worth putting your family in jeopardy.
Pelican Bay Dog News is a dog TV and news platform covering the welfare of canines across the world. PB K9s also specializes in obedience, scent, and protection training. Critiqued for shedding light on the corruption of illegal dog fighting and the ego seekers in the modern community, there has only been one motto: some gonna like it, some ain't.
You know, it's not, man. I mean, I'm quite sure some brothers gonna feel like you, like I said, but you know, when it comes to giving that real, I just gotta give to you how I feel from the heart. And from the heart, man, I'm gonna tell you, you wasting time, you wasting your mind, you wasting your thoughts, you wasting everything when you thinking them dogs in your yard is more important than them people in your house. You know what I'm saying? Or wherever your family at. You know, um, you yourself are more important to your family. You should understand that. Even if you're not putting your family at risk and you're putting yourself at risk, you are too important to your family, to be screwing up with the dogs. If you can't, listen here, man, it ain't nothing me wrong by saying this. That dog thing, that dog game that them brothers play, that's mob game. That's mob material. When I say mob material, it means secretive. Them brothers keep what they do on the low. You know, why would you want to involve your family in all that? I tell brothers, too many of y'all brothers, y'all get kicks out of coming home and bragging to your girl about what your dogs did. We from different eras, my brother. Now I know brothers back then that rolled, that did all that, and the old ladies who came to the shows and stuff. But listen here, man. If you ain't a dog girl, like a dog woman, and you my old lady, and You just deal with me with the dogs. You know I love dogs, and you not gonna make me stop my dogs, but you just don't rock with them. You don't feed them. You don't water them. Even if you did all that, that's not your party. That's my party. Me and the boys, I'm going to release some energy, some anger, some anger that's not really anger. It's just competition anger. I'm going out to have fun. I'm going out to fish. For me, and I gotta give you my honest opinion. For me, in my days, letting one loose in the square is equivalent to some brothers going to catch them a bass. I love the fish. I haven't been in a while. Throw a line in, sit back, burn me a couple L's. I got 2 or 3 lines in and I'm just watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna show y'all boys how I get down in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But it's just you can't, man. You can't move the same way. And if you want me to be real with it, you know, even when it comes to selling these dogs, you really got to be careful. We talking about putting your family in jeopardy. When these brothers out here now, a lot of them dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? You take you junkies. You not your brain not thinking half of the time. You know, you can't even take your family with you to make a dog sale. These brothers try to pull out and take your dogs. You got to treat all that stuff like a sale. You know what I'm saying? You see every day what brothers trying to rob brothers and sisters for Frenchies, for pocket pits and all that stuff. They don't try it, they do it. So you don't put your family at risk. This is business. You know, I'm handling business. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'll be back home when I'm back home. And I'm gonna make sure everything that I'm doing is nothing putting y'all in jeopardy. And I'm not sitting here on this microphone lying to any brother and sister like I never did nothing to put my family in jeopardy. But what I'm doing is letting you move, letting you vibe, letting you go off my mistake, hoping that you can make something better from it. You know? And one thing about it, if the Lord, great Lord, allow you to make a mistake and keep trucking, then you keep going forward and you don't make that same mistake twice. No. So what I did once, I ain't do it again. I'm just telling you about something I did before and things I've been through. Not saying I've been through it over and over and over again, because I ain't the one got to go through it over. To put it in my mind, don't do it again. Take a whole nother route, man. But at the end of the day, like I said, brother, it's no 4-leg animal worth your family. Your mama had to go through 9 months to birth you. You had to go through time with your old lady to birth the kids that you got. None of that stuff's worth it, man. None of that stuff's worth your cousins that live with you, your uncles that live with you, your aunts that live with you, whatever. None of that stuff is worth your family. I don't care if you don't get along with them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it because 6 months, 3 years down the line, when they ain't here no more, when they buried or when they gone, you wish they was here. You wish you wasn't arguing with them, and you wish you ain't put them dogs before them. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, my brother. It is what it is. Y'all just keep bulldogging out that man and stay safe. Stay safe and always keep God first. God is the first thing. You keep at the head of that ladder, then family. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep God first, or nothing else ain't gonna work for you. Now, let's talk about this, man, real quick. It's about coming together for a common cause. You see, we can find a way to criticize this man. I can find a way to criticize him. He can find a way to criticize me. He can learn. He can sit over there and wait till I drop something so he can try to make some content. We can do all that, but when can we come together for a common cause to stop irresponsible dog owners? You see, it's getting to a real problem when it comes to any breed, and particularly the mastiff bully type breeds. Pit bulls, any type of bull type breed. It's getting to be a real problem. And it's like I said, brothers can figure out a way to laugh about this or to joke about that. And another thing, if anybody make any jokes about something from certain pages, folk let me know because I'm sitting a boatload of troll of stuff that I'm just sitting on it. I'm not even gonna bring it out right now. So somebody talking slick on the side, holler at me on the back street, one of my brothers. You know, but anyway, man, coming to a common place about a cause when it comes to irresponsible dog owners. And I'm getting to a point because I want to get to some news that I want y'all to, check out. Now I'm gonna ask you this. How many of my brothers and sisters down in the chat or watching this video have ever been clamped on, bitten by a dog? It don't necessarily have to be a pit bull, but we really are talking about pit bull breed dogs. So we talking about pits. How many of my brothers and sisters have been clamped on? Now, when you've been bit, I've been bit two different ways. I've been bit with a dog just clamp his mouth down and open it. My whole arm went numb instantly. Dog bit me in my forearm right here. I went numb instantly, my whole arm on this side. All right. Now, how many people has been clamped on? When I mean clamped on, locked on, and the dog not letting you loose, and you got to fight this dog to get him off you. You see, we gonna talk about something, man. When can we come to a common place to stop these irresponsible dog owners, man? Because if you ain't never been bit by a dog, you don't want to get bit by a dog, man. Let me show you something. I tell y'all brothers about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I tell you about it all the time. This dog that you about to see in the background, this is the dog that clamped on my hand. You know, great dog, a real game dog with slow scratching, but consistent slow scratching dog. One of them dogs that you can let go and you for sure he coming across. But he going almost like a fast walk, but he coming. But this dog grabbed my hand, thinking he had the rag, like I told you. And when I tell my brothers, from this incident right here is what I'm making this statement about, and I feel like it's worth talking about. From this incident, because when this dog grabbed my thumb, I'm a seasoned dog man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a seasoned dog man. He grabbed my thumb. I felt helpless. I felt like he was gonna rip my thumb off. Literally, it was gonna like be blood squirting out. And I literally in my head had already came to the conclusion that my thumb was gonna come off. So just the way he had it, he wouldn't let go. You know how you tell your dogs, let go, get, stop? He didn't respond to none of that. He wasn't growling like he thought he was trying to bite me. He thought he had the rag, but he had my finger, you know. But most dogs, when you slap them or do something, they'll let go. He wouldn't let go at all. First thing that jumped in my head, after my fingers about to, and all this happened in a matter of seconds. First thing snapped in my head is it's 7:30 in the morning. First thing come in my head is jump on this dog because he gonna snap my finger off. First thing I need to do is take his power away. Me knowing a pit bull, I know if they stay on all 4 feet, he'll get to shaking. And he's gonna be stronger on all 4 feet, whether he's crouched down in the front on all fours or standing up on all fours. He's gonna be stronger. So my first thing I was trying to do, I pushed his head on my chest area, because he wasn't trying to bite me. I got his, he had my left thumb. So if you can imagine what I'm telling you right now, my brain wouldn't let my right hand release his mouth. I'm trying to pull his mouth to get my left hand out. My brain won't let my hand release it. So any brother say, why you didn't do this or why you didn't, I probably could have grabbed my pocket knife out my pocket and stabbed him and killed him. I didn't want to kill the dog. I was trying to get my thumb out his damn mouth. So I'm holding it, trying to get, I don't want to let his mouth go because I got a good grip with my right hand and I'm pulling. I can't budge his mouth. When I tell you, you not budging a bulldog jaws, I'm strong enough to do it. And when I'm scared, you definitely strong enough to do it. So I feel sorry for any child, any woman, any man who gets down in that situation and they can't get out of a dog bite. I know how to handle them dogs. The dog got me. I got him down. I'm trying my best to open his mouth with my right hand, but I can't get no good strength from it. I'm riding him. I'm riding the top of his head. I got him on the ground. I'm laying on top of him. If he was trying to bite me, he'd be biting me all on the body and everything. He'll let go and bite me on another area. He wasn't trying to bite me. He had my thumb and he wasn't letting go, and that shit hurt it. He had my whole thumb. all the way to the hand, in his mouth. And matter of fact, I want to say he had it on the side of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my whole thing was to wrestle him to the ground, keep his strength from him. You know what I'm saying? And that worked for, probably about, I stayed on top of him a good maybe 5 minutes at the most. No more than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, it seemed like it was longer than that. But I say that to say this, man. If you haven't been clamped on by a dog, a real dog, not just bit, not just punched holes in you and he let go. I mean, really clamped on and that dog not trying to let go. Don't let your dog get loose and get hold of somebody. That's the worst thing that can happen when it comes to these animals, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say let's come to a common cause agreement when it comes to certain things, man. You can laugh, you can joke about this and about that, but irresponsible dog owners are in every breed of dogs, from the game dogs to the bullies to the pocket pits. They ruin the dogs, they ruin the breedings, and they have dogs out here getting bad names for them. You know what I'm saying? And this video I'm about to give y'all, brothers, is a sad incident. You know what I'm saying? Sad incident, and it's going down in San Antonio, Texas, where we got a little toddler who was mauled by 3 pit bulls. And I'll say 3 pit bulls, but I'm giving you this news clipping. Some of the clipping is gonna be in Spanish, so y'all bear with the person that's giving the interview. Some of it in English, some of it in Spanish. But one thing I'm glad they did do is they verified what kind of dog it was. When you listen to that man, he gonna say it was an XL bully breed dog. I'm glad he identified it. And that's one thing that saves and going to make America game again is when we start identifying these dogs as making these attacks. And that way we'll know that this is not the pit bull that y'all are so terrified of. Y'all are terrified of these other dogs. It's not the pit bull that's snapping on people and going crazy on people. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. And that's what we argue about and fight for. The let the public and let the people know, out of 100 dogs that attack, and you call them 100 dogs pit bulls, maybe 10 of them dogs were really real pit bulls. And that's real numbers, because I do the news. And most of these dogs that attack people are not real, genuine pit bulls. So like I said, man, we copy content, we crack on folk, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it be these stories like this that brothers, they hear, but this don't interest them, the bite the content. They won't bite the content and say, let's stop irresponsible animal owners. They always talk about dumb junk, stuff that don't matter. That's gonna be one of the quickest ways to get these dogs banned. They ain't gonna ban the dogs because you're fighting them. They got you all mapped out because you're fighting them. They gonna lock your ass up because you're fighting them. Them dogs hurting people is what'll get them banned across this country. And then see, when you got XL bullies or another breed of dog that's hurting people, but all of them getting called American Pit Bull Terriers, then the pit bull will get banned. The bully will get banned. The whatever else, all the dogs get banned that fit that criteria. Now, they all pit bulls until it's time to put that home insurance on them dogs. Then everybody else going to their own little breeds. Oh, no, I got a pocket bully. There's nothing with a pit bull in it. That has nothing to do with it. Or I got a XL, or I got a this and that. I got a this and that, a band dog. Or I got this. They ain't pit bulls no more. You know what I'm saying? But we going to get into this news, my brothers and sisters. I'm giving it to you the way I always do, fair and uncut, raw and unbiased. PBK9s, let's get into it.
Thank you so much for joining us. We obviously wanted to show you this suspect, but also clarify some information that was given to us preliminarily. So to clarify, Heather Rodriguez, which is the 36-year-old female that you just met, she is not related biologically to the baby. She is, in fact, my understanding, a caregiver. This morning, she took custody of the child for purposes of babysitting. At a certain point, we're still trying to determine what point that was, Ms. Rodriguez left the house and left the baby under custody of Heather's 13-year-old daughter. That 13-year-old and the baby were in a bedroom. My understanding is that there was an effort to keep the baby sequestered from the dogs because these dogs were known to cause damage. At a certain point, the little girl was, the 13-year-old was in the bedroom with the 1-year-old little boy when the dogs forced their way into the room. My understanding is that the door leading into that room was already damaged by the dogs at some point before that rendered it not completely secure. The dogs were able to force their way into the bedroom and at that point began biting the baby. The little girl, the 13-year-old, was able to maintain control of the baby, but at this point, and what's being described to me is it was almost a tug of war for the baby between at least one of the dogs and the little girl. At a certain point, additional dogs came into the room as well, and then they joined in the attack. The little girl then spent several minutes trying to fight them off. She was able to get the baby and herself into a bathroom attached to that bedroom. The dogs then also went into that bathroom. They forced their way into the bathroom. They then began to resume their attack on not just the baby, but also on the 13-year-old. She was also bitten in the process. At a certain point, she had to break away and physically left the baby behind in the bathroom being attacked while she went to go get her cell phone to call for help. She was able to grab her cell phone, come back, and resume fighting with the dogs over the baby. At a certain point, she was able to call for help. She then took the baby and went into another bedroom, at which point she was able to put the baby on the floor and barricade the door using her body to prevent the dogs from coming into that bedroom. When deputies arrived, that's when they were able to come in, take custody of the scene, take control of the scene. They found the baby there, began first aid, called for EMS, who was there pretty quickly. EMS was able to transport the baby to the hospital. From what we understand about the baby right now, definitely critical condition. My understanding is that they were not able to get the baby stabilized enough to move to university as what we were hoping for, but rather they maintained care of the baby there at SAMC. Injuries are pretty substantial. I've actually seen some pictures of the baby gleaned from our body camera video of the deputies, and it's heartbreaking to see anybody in that condition, even more so a 1-year-old baby. Pretty severe head injuries. My understanding is that the baby's throat and airway are actually damaged to the point where the baby's not able to breathe through normal means. So obviously they've had to do some surgical intervention to allow that to happen. My understanding is that the actual parents of the baby are now at the hospital. My understanding is that even though this dog had some sort of history prior to this happening, in April, the sheriff's office was dispatched for loose dogs, and the dogs were keeping the collar inside his car. In other words, they were not letting him get out of his car. They were barking and growling at him, and he was afraid for his safety, did not get out of the car, called for us. We were able to show up and get the dogs away and allow that collar to get out of the car. The dogs were secured, and at that point, Ms. Rodriguez was actually cited for having dogs running free of restraint. In other words, unleashed dogs. She was allowed to maintain custody of the dogs at that point. My understanding is that the parents knew that Ms. Rodriguez had dogs, but they did not know that the dogs were problematic. Otherwise, I'm led to believe they would not have let her care for their baby the way that they did, had they known that these dogs were unsafe. At any rate, the parents are with the baby at this point, and Ms. Rodriguez, it is our intent, as she's being transported over to South Tower now, our intent is to book her for injury to a child with serious bodily injury by omission. It's a first-degree felony. Additionally, she may face additional charges for the injuries sustained by her own daughter, the 13-year-old, in other words. And I've got to be honest, the 13-year-old in this instance is absolutely, I'm considering her a hero. I think that her actions led to that baby not being mauled even more seriously or even killed as a result of this savage dog attack. So this little girl, unfortunately, she sustained injuries herself. I believe she's going to have some lasting psychological effects as a result of it, but I consider her a hero. CPS is actually involved in this case as well, not just for the welfare of the baby himself, but additionally they're going to be, as we speak, they're heading over to the house to make sure that the 13-year-old is able to hold it together as a result of what she saw and experienced today as well. It's certainly a heartbreaking situation for all. But again, Heather Rodriguez will be booked, and our intent is to book her for injury to a child, serious bodily injury. That's pending if the DA's office will accept that charge. But that is our intent as we speak. If there's any changes to that, I will update you. Esta tarde, ustedes conocieron a esta sospechosa Heather Rodriguez. Se aparenta que Heather, al principio nosotros pensábamos que era la madre del bebito, sino que nosotros nos dimos cuenta que no es la madre. Ella solamente estaba cuidando al niño. Ella en algunos momentos dejó el niño con la niña de ella que tiene 13 años de edad. Ella se fue de la casa y dejó el bebito bajo la custodia de la niña de 13. Se aparenta que la niña estaba en el cuarto con el bebito cuando los perros de la casa forcejearon y lograron entrar por una puerta a la recámara donde estaba la niña con el bebito. Los perros pudieron hacer eso porque ellos ya habían dañado la puerta, como que si ya habían dañado la puerta hasta el punto que ya no podían atrancar la puerta, sino que los perros tuvieron éxito en entrar al cuarto, uno de los perros atacó el bebito. La niña empezó a forcejear con el perro por el niño, y ya los otros perros entraron y ellos también empezaron a atacar el bebito. La niña logró pelear con los perros hasta el punto que ella entró a un baño con el bebito, pero desafortunadamente los perros también entraron a ese baño, siguieron atacando el bebito, y también la niña sufrió heridas, mordidas. Ella en ese momento no tenía su teléfono, quería hablar al 911, pero ella tuvo que dejar por unos momentos el bebito con los perros. Ella se fue a agarrar su teléfono, sí lo recogió, entró para atrás para el baño, y ella peleó con los perros hasta que ella logró sacar el bebito otra vez del baño. Ya ella se encerró en otro cuarto, dejó al niño en el piso, mientras que ella detuvo la puerta para prevenir que los perros entraran otra vez. Ya cuando nuestros oficiales llegaron, tuvieron éxito en separar los perros y ya darle primeros auxilios al bebito y hablar a los médicos, donde el bebito fue llevado al hospital con heridas graves, heridas a la cabeza, a la garganta. Y yo he visto fotografías del bebito y está fea la situación con el niño, por no poder decir más en mucho detalle, pero las heridas sí son graves. Los padres del bebito están con él en el hospital, ahorita en el hospital SAMC. No pudieron llevar el niño para universidad por la seriedad de las heridas del bebito. Entonces ahí está en SAMC ahorita. Ojalá él vaya a sobrevivir sus heridas, pero sí son heridas graves. Lo que sí se sabe de la historia de estos perros y de esta mujer fue que en abril nuestros oficiales recibieron una llamada a la casa que los perros estaban fuera de la casa y estaban deteniendo un hombre en su carro. No lo dejaban salir del carro. Él le dio miedo, nos habló a nosotros. Nuestros oficiales tuvieron éxito en separar los perros, pero ya en ese momento, mientras que los perros no habían mordido a nadie, le dieron un tiquete a Heather Rodriguez por tener los perros sueltos, pero ella siguió con custodia de los perros. Ahora sí, nosotros les quitamos los perros entre nosotros y Animal Control, y ahora se va a averiguar qué va a pasar con los perros ahí en el futuro. Más que seguro que esos perros ya no vayan a regresar a esa casa. Desafortunadamente, para mí, si yo prefiero ya poner a dormir esos perros, aunque uno no quiera. La vida de este niño es más importante, la seguridad del público es más importante, digo. Y pues ya de allí nosotros estamos llevando a Heather para la cárcel, y ella se va a enfrentar con cargos por causar heridas a un niño con heridas graves. Any questions?
Baby boy is in critical, life-threatening injuries.
Definitely life-threatening injuries, yes.
Do you know the extent of the 13-year-old injuries?
No, my understanding is that her injuries, it's horrible to say, she was covered in blood, but I think the majority of that blood belonged to the baby. She was injured, but I don't believe she was injured so much to the point where she had to be hospitalized at this point. She was left there at the house. Now, CPS, once they get over there, they may determine that she needs to be hospitalized. That's certain, or at least removed from the home. So at this point, thankfully, she non-life-threatening injuries on the little girl. Again, I consider her a hero in this situation. She got left in a pretty bad situation for any 13-year-old to be left in charge of a baby like that. But in a house full of vicious dogs, what did this lady, the suspect, think was going to happen at that point?
Heather vivía ahí en la casa.
¿Mande?
Heather, la sospechosa, vivía ahí en la casa y ella era la dueña de
La sospechosa esta vive en la casa de esa. La hija de la niña de 13 años es su hija. Ella solamente estaba cuidando el bebito en esa casa con sus perros. Entonces ella también es la dueña de los perros, pero no es la madre del bebito.
El bebé no vivía ahí.
No, el bebé no vive ahí. Vive en otra parte con su familia. Ella recogió al niño esta mañana y lo trajo para la casa para cuidarlo.
You called the 13-year-old a hero. How long do you think she went back and forth with this dog before she was able to call 911 and then actually get help on the scene?
It was about 2 minutes. All said and done, this attack was about 2 minutes. But I mean, the dogs, I haven't seen the dogs, but they're described to me as XL pits or bulldogs. So in other words, they're very thick, very heavy, muscular dogs. And so, for a 13-year-old little girl, I haven't seen how big she is, but for her to be able to fight for 2 minutes is a long time to fight. When you're fighting, when you're outnumbered, we're talking at least 2, possibly 3 dogs that she was fighting with, probably each weighing more than she did. My understanding is that's 4 dogs. This little girl did her very best to fight for 2 minutes, and I think that God willing, this baby survives. I think it was in no small part due to the heroic actions of this little girl. Super proud of her.
Dice que el niño no vivía ahí, que nomás lo estaban cuidando. ¿Tienen alguna relación? ¿Eran nomás amigos o cómo conocían al niño?
Solamente le pagan a esta señora que mantenga a su niño mientras que ellos estén en el trabajo. No son parientes, sino que ella solamente les cuida a los niños por dinero. Y es lo que estaba pasando este día. Por lo que nos dicen a nosotros, los padres sabían que Heather tenía perros, pero no sabían que los perros eran bravos. Entonces, desafortunadamente para esta familia, tuvieron que encontrar esa información así.
Entonces, esa no era la primera vez que el niño se quedaba ahí.
No, this is not the first time they babysit, right, sir? No. Has the baby's been in that house before? Antes ha cuidado el niño en esa casa, pero más que seguro que la niña de 13 ya sabía que el problema que ellos tenían con esos perros, entonces por eso detuvo al bebito en el cuarto.
En dado caso, esperemos que no el niño llegue a morir. ¿Qué cargos podría enfrentar entonces esta sospechosa?
Bueno, por ahorita este cargo, si lo toma el fiscal, este cargo cubre si el niño llega a fallecer. Aunque no quisiéramos, aunque estamos en estos momentos estamos orando que no pase, si Dios no quiera el niño fallece, este cargo también cubre eso.
Out of the 4 dogs, do we know if they all took part in the attack? Do we have a number on that?
At this point, no. I believe at least 2, but it's possible all 4 of them may have. Once we find out, we'll see what ends up happening. Obviously for me, any dog that took part in it needs to be put down. I don't think there's any scenario in which we could see giving any of these dogs back. So obviously that's outside our hands. It's up to animal control to determine which dogs were involved. But hopefully all of these dogs are removed from that situation. And any that are responsible for attacking a little boy probably need to be put down. As heartbreaking as that sounds, the life of a little baby is much more important.
You answered my second question a little bit there, but who are the dogs in custody with currently, and what's the next step for them?
Animal control has the dogs now, and animal control will determine that. What happens to the dogs at this point. We'll certainly have input on it, or God willing, we'll have input on it. Of course, my preference is that those dogs never go back to that home ever again.
Are you able to go into detail about how Heather cares more about the dogs than the child?
Sure. I mean, and that is a given. While initially we thought she was related to the baby, we've come to find out that she's not. What I can tell you is that at that scene, they really gave our deputies a hard time as far as they didn't want to give us the dogs. And then it was, okay, we're just going to give you this one, but not these others. The deputies stepped in and said, no, we're going to take all the dogs. Our deputies, in conjunction with animal control, we took them all in an abundance of caution. If we're able to find out that one of the dogs or several of the dogs were not responsible for it, then fine, perhaps those can go back. But she seemed to be more concerned with what was going on with those dogs than with the fact that her inaction, her omissions, almost caused the death of a baby, and still might, God forbid, if this ends up happening.
Any idea on where she went when she left the house?
No, I'm not able to determine that. I don't know that information at this point. I believe we're trying to find out if she went to work or went to run an errand. But certainly nothing could be so important that you would just endanger the life of a baby like that.
We also don't know how long she was gone from the house.
We don't. We don't. I was just asking that question before we came down, and we still don't know that is how long she was gone.
We also talk about the fact that once she's gotten down here, it seems like she's not cooperating.
Oh, she came down with us, and she refused to give a statement. She didn't have anything to say to us. And as you see her there, she didn't seem very concerned at all for about anything. Again, her omissions definitely affected the rest of this baby's life, and hopefully didn't lead to something even worse happening to him.
Esa era mi pregunta, que si ella estaba cooperando con ustedes y también cómo es que ella estaba reaccionando ante la salud de los perros, más sobre que la salud del bebé.
Sí, no, cuando llegaron nuestros oficiales a la casa, ella solamente no nos quería soltar los perros, sino que a fuerza tuvieron que quitarle los perros y luego ya la arrestaron a ella. Ya cuando llegó aquí con nosotros, nuestros oficiales intentaron de entrevistarla y no nos quiso decir nada, sino que ella solamente, no nos dijo nada. Y ya pueden ver la actitud de ella, como ella se estaba portando. A ella como que no le importa nada, solamente la vida de sus perros.
You just talked about the state of Pelican County and San Antonio with the team's dog attacks happening unfortunately once a week.
Sure. I mean, it's something that we're seeing way too often. And so, I think the whole system, city, county, statewide, I think all of us could stand to tighten things down a bit. We know that it's a continuing issue with us. As at present, we're looking at our own internal policies and say, what can we do? Frustratingly enough, well, not frustratingly enough, but unfortunately in this situation, animal control doesn't answer to me or my agency. So we do what we can to work with them. So we'll see what we can do to tighten up our part of the process. We'll certainly work with them, and I have all the indicators are that they'll work with us. But we just need to see how can we work better together to prevent these things from happening, because it's something that we're seeing with much more frequency. Dog attacks on the elderly, dog attacks on babies, and it's not something that we can continue to just let the status quo like that. Okay, thank y'all so much.
Before we get up out of here, I do want to say this. I need somebody to drop some examples of them 20 times dogs, 30 times dogs, 30 times Jeep, 20 times Jeep, 30 times whatever you got. Eli, somebody please give me an example of them dogs so I can look it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at some of the tightest bred dogs, and I'm seeing 5 times this, 6 times red boy, 4 times red boy. Where y'all getting 30 from? Somebody please explain to me, because I'm not saying you're wrong. If you explain to me how you're right. Explain to me how you're right. Where do y'all get these numbers from? How do you get 30 times of something you don't see 30 times? What makes you say 30 times? And I've seen a few brothers that contradict what I said about the 30 and 40 times something. How can you sit and think to yourself and tell your friends or whoever you tell that your dog in the yard is 25 times Barracuda, 25 times Mayday? How can that be possible? You got sires, you got dams of each litter. A dam can be off the sire that you're breeding back to, so that'll give it, 2 times? If you want to say that. A son and 2 times Mayday. Okay, then you breed them again with another kinfolk, so now you're 3 times. So y'all brothers saying 20 and 30 times. That means you need to be going 20 and 30 times that we need to see Mayday in this pedigree. You know how far you gonna go back? Farther than some of y'all was born. Y'all calling numbers out that go past, exceed your birthday. I mean, I'm just curious, man. I'm just curious when it comes to that. And I'm, like I said, I ain't saying none of y'all wrong. I'm just saying how you get them numbers you get. You know, how you get the numbers you get, man. It's I'm not saying I'm the Albert Einstein in math or none of that type of stuff. Explain to me your numbers so I can be a little better in math. Right now I can't comprehend it. I can't figure out how to put it together. I'm looking at these, I'm looking at them, I'm multiplying and dividing, and man, I still don't get 35, 25, 45. Y'all boys have higher numbers than that. I mean, like I said, my brothers and sisters, ask them if they say it's 15 times this, 35 times that, 50 times that, just turn around and ask them what the percentage of this dog is in your dog. What percentage of this dog is in the dogs? That's all you got to tell me. Is it a 50% dog? Is it a direct son, grandson, great grandson, double bred, inbred? Because I'm willing to bet any brother out there that when you get over 20 times and you tell me any blood that you got, any dog, I bet any of y'all brothers out there, you know, show me a dog that you got 20 times of something. If you're breeding it right, show me a dog that's 20 times of something. How can you do it? In order to get 20 times of something, it has to be directly off that dog or his son. And like I said, you look at them Big John dogs I got, inbred like a mother. Go count how many times you see Big John in my whole pedigree from top to bottom. Not saying that you couldn't put the dog in your pedigree more, but if I don't got no outs on my dog and everything is from the time he made off the Big John stuff is coming down off him, why wouldn't my numbers be 40, 50, 60, like some of y'all brothers claim? It don't exist, man. It don't exist. That's more stuff that y'all brothers brought to the dog game that don't make sense, that don't exist, that you trying to make relevant. Like I told you on the video yesterday, go back to the basics, man. A lot of y'all brothers trying to be too sophisticated and you ain't got common sense to be that sophisticated. Go back to the basics. Start from ground zero, man. And to the brother that was speaking about putting your family in jeopardy, would you put a man-eating dog on your yard knowing you got little kids? That's the stuff you think about, man. You don't think about all that stuff when you just gone. When you just young, thinking about running. You think about all that stuff later on down the line once you done been through all that stuff. Are you gonna put them type of dogs up to put your family in jeopardy? Because like I say, your family could be in jeopardy many different ways when it comes to these dogs. Is it worth it? Is it worth you coming out there and one of your children being ragdolled by one of your favorite dogs? Because you just didn't want to get rid of him, but you know he was gonna be a problem eventually. Is it worth it? You don't get do-overs with some things. You don't get replays with some things. When it happened, and you might don't get a second chance. So always remember, young brothers, my old ones too, these four-legged dogs ain't worth your family. Now, everything that can be worked out, I would suggest to try to work it out. And I gotta say, I'm not talking about a woman and a man who having problems, you know what I'm saying? And you know, a real woman, you're not gonna lose her because of your dogs if you being a man at the household. Not a real woman. She not gonna leave if you being a man because she know what time it is. You just have problems when you have problems, you know. And I'm gonna say it like this. Like I said, I gave it to you from 2 point of views. You know, some I'm not talking about them ladies who nag 24/7, nagging you 24/7, 24/7. You need them dogs to clear your mind then. You know, you can't get rid of your dogs. You might go back there and blow your brains out. You have to deal with that every day. You know, I ain't talking about that kind. Cause like I said, them kind might not be the kind you need to be with. When you're dealing with them dogs, if you know that you like the dogs, you got to get a woman who gonna deal with that type of stuff. There's a million fish in the sea. Some women love it, some women don't. That's just part of the package deal that come with you when they deal with you. Same way everybody got a package that come with them. You no matter if it's kids or what it is, they bringing something with them. They ain't nobody perfect. You know, so just keep that in mind, man. And I ain't keeping y'all brothers and sisters here too long tonight. Hope y'all had a safe day, safe evening, having a safe morning, gonna have a good day at work, or had a great day at work. You know, it's your boy PBK9s, Dog Talk, Dog TV, and Dog News, giving it to you fair and cut, raw and unbiased. Y'all stay safe, legal, and I'm out.
Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it deep. All by his bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it deep. All by his bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm first green ballin', tryna get my bread long. You know the game gone and my mind been blown. Different decision that I done made got me fucked up now. Still gon' thug the life I'm living, still gon' hold this shit down. Every day of my life, yeah, nigga chasing cheese. And I'm saying niggas should be around there, we'll see y'all your feet. My mama been doing bad,